Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got a red alert to share with you guys. We are heading into unstable territory. Right now, we have Ayanna Pressley calling for unrest in the streets. We have Nancy Pelosi, a leading top Democrat, calling GOP members and Republicans domestic enemies of the state. And we have Maxine Waters telling her people to basically ban President Trump and Trump cabinet members from their restaurants and places of business. Meanwhile, we have Democratic candidates bailing out rioters. Kamala Harris, who personally sent out a tweet asking for funds to help bail out people who are literally looting and rioting in our cities. We have radical leftists literally taking over our country. We are on an unstable path. This is why I want to encourage you, check out Restricted Republic. I share all that and more in detailed information. But right now, I've got one bombshell report that I have to share with you. You see, a top Health and Human Services aide for President Trump is now warning of leftist hit squads and armed insurrection and telling President Trump and his supporters to prepare. But don't take my word for it. Take a look at this article on the NewYorkTimes.com. Trump health aide pushes bizarre conspiracies and warns of armed revolution. Michael Caputo told a Facebook audience without evidence that left-wing hit squads were being trained for insurrection and accused the CDC scientist of sedition. Here's another article here on thehill.com. Top Health and Human Service official accuses scientists of plotting against President Trump and tells supporters to buy ammunition. Now, the article goes on to state that top communications officials at Department of Health and Human Services accused career government scientists of plotting against President Trump and told Trump supporters to arm themselves ahead of the November presidential election. Now, this was all revealed in a Facebook Live video this past Sunday, where Michael Caputo kind of put it out about the CDC. But the article goes on. The career scientists, and I quote, haven't gotten out of their sweatpants except for meeting at coffee shops to plot how they're going to attack Donald Trump, Caputo said. Then he goes on, and I quote, there are scientists who work for this government who do not want America to get well, not until after Joe Biden is president. And I'm going to pause right there. You see, that's the ultimate agenda. They want to get Biden in no matter what. And if President Trump wins the election, well, they're not going to concede the election. We've already been told that through their multiple game plans, which, by the way, I have on Restricted Republic. Please go there to hear about a lot of that. But that said, this is the plotting that Caputo is claiming is going on behind the scenes, right? That scientists are plotting to keep things going until another president gets into office. Well, do they know something about the presidency that you and I don't know? Do they already have plans to force Joe Biden in no matter what the election results? I have to ask the question. And it's a question, and it's a good question that needs addressing. But the thing is, I have been warning and warning. The end game isn't to end these mandates. The end game is to destroy the small businesses here in the United States of America, break our backs and turn us into a more third world country. So we're more susceptible to draconian rules and regulations. You see, for the Democratic Party, they've never had this much control over the population. You think they're just going to willingly give it back after the election? Maybe, maybe not. Right? We know how these draconian measures work. And we don't want Biden to become the president of the United States of America. But the article goes on that Caputo hosted the event for his followers of his personal Facebook page. So basically he did it over Facebook. And right now we have top House Democrats who have launched an investigation into the matter. You know what they really need to be investigating? How about Maxine Waters, Ayanna Pressley, and Nancy Pelosi for saying the things that they did and calling for unrest in the streets? But I digress. According to the Times, Caputo also warned Trump followers to be prepared for armed insurrection, predicting the president would win, but the Democrat presidential nominee Joe Biden would refuse to concede the election. There it is again, right? They're all warning on both sides of the fence about this, but it goes on, and I quote, when Donald Trump refuses to stand down at inauguration, the shooting will begin. That's terrifying. But that's what Caputo said, and it goes on, if you carry guns, buy ammunition, ladies and gentlemen, because it's going to get hard. Because it's going to be hard to get, excuse me. Whew. At least that is reportedly what Caputo said, according to the New York Times, who wrote the article. Is this a warning for Trump supporters? Is he trying to sound the alarm? Because the left has been inciting radical violence, the radical left, in our cities right now. And so much more information on restricted. Can't say here, right? But you see, this is literally coming on the heels of threats from the left. Take a look at this article on thefederalist.com. It votes Biden or it gets the riots again. Threats of left-wing political violence if President Trump is reelected have gone from subtext to plain text. Now, that article goes on to reference in detail what he's talking about these left-wing political uprising if Biden isn't elected. And it's an article that was written by Shahid Hamid in theatlantic.com, and it's titled, "The Democrats May Not Be Able to Concede." And here's the most eerie part of that article, and I'm going to quote, "A loss by Joe Biden under these circumstances is the worst case, not because Trump will destroy America, but because it is the outcome most likely to undermine faith in the democracy, resulting in more of the social unrest and street battles that cities, including Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, have seen in the recent months. For this reason, strictly law and order Republicans who have responded to dismay and scenes of rioting and looting have an interest in Biden winning, even if they could never bring themselves to vote for him." In other words, what that sounds like to me is he's saying Republicans are going to basically cast their vote, mental vote, whatever, for Joe Biden, because if they don't, they know the riots are going to continue. What kind of threat is that? Left-wing people are going to continue to riot if President Trump gets in. Fine. But I'm not electing a Joe Biden, right? We cannot allow someone like a Joe Biden in. And you know what? If President Trump gets in, then he better put that law and order foot down against the rioters that are burning our cities even harder and even more. And I believe he will. So don't let veiled threats like that change your vote in the President of the United States of America. Because if Joe Biden gets in, there will be a massive tax hike on the middle class, on the upper class, on pretty much all of us in some way, shape, or form. He's been very open about it. Not only that, but I personally don't think the riots are going to stop with Joe Biden. I think they'll continue. Why? Because it's about a takeover, and they're taking over through the Democratic Party with their socialist, communist mentality. Anyhow, please don't forget to check out my partner at hidewithlisa.com. If you guys don't have a VPN, I want to encourage you to get one today, because it really hides all the information. When you surf on the internet, it's nobody's business what you look at or what you see. All that information gets wiped away with a VPN, and it acts as if you are looking off another server. So make sure you get a VPN and protect you and your family today at hidewithlisa.com. Anyhow, I love all of you. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.